Picture this, you're 5 miles into the wilderness, the sun is setting, and you suddenly realize that you forgot your headlamp. Or worse, dark clouds roll in, the temperatures drop, and you have no rain gear and no extra layers. Hey, welcome back to Solstice Trail. I'm Drew and I help outdoor enthusiasts to develop skills, find quality gear, and become self-reliant leaders so that they can confidently explore any outdoor experience. And today we're covering a topic that can literally make or break your hiking trip. And that is what to pack for a weekend in the backcountry. Now, whether you're a beginner planning your first overnight trek or you're an experienced hiker looking to refine your system, this comprehensive guide is going to ensure that you're prepared for whatever the trail throws at you. Before we dive into specific items, let's talk about the mindset of packing. The goal isn't to bring everything you might possibly need. That's how you end up with a 50-pound pack and miserable shoulders by the end of the trip. Instead, what we want to do is pack smart. So items that are lightweight as well as multi-purpose and genuinely essential. So let's break it down into categories and get to know each one of them. We're going to move quickly here to get you out on the trail fast, but you can find the complete list and our favorites as well below in the comments. First, let's talk backpack considerations. For a weekend trip, you're going to be looking at a pack somewhere around 35 to 50 liters. Any smaller than that, you'll be struggling to fit everything in, and any larger, and you'll be tempted to overpack. A few key features that you're going to want to look for in your pack. Number one, first and foremost, is a proper fit for your torso length, not just your height. Also, comfortable padded hip belts that transfer the weight across your legs and through your hips. Multiple access points are huge to be able to reach gear without unpacking everything, and also while you're hiking. And of course, durable materials that can handle brush or rough handling as you progress through your trips. And finally, shoot for a pack that's about 30 to 35 pounds max. This is a fairly heavy pack, but once you're loaded up with water and everything you'll need, that's a pretty good target for most people. All right, so kicking things off, let's talk navigation. Your first bit of gear is going to focus around knowing where you're going and also how to get back. So a physical map and compass are crucial. Make sure you pack those. Don't just rely on your phone, although do rely on your phone, but a secondary source like a map and a compass, and also a GPS device if you're going to more remote terrain is really important. As far as navigation goes, always leave an itinerary with someone back home so that they know exactly where you're going to be and when you're going to be back. While we're not relying fully on our phones out there in the wilderness, we need to know how to use a map and a compass as well as a GPS. A pro tip is to take a photo of the trail maps along the way at the trailhead or wherever you end up finding them along the trail. It's a great backup even when your phone has no service, and a way to understand exactly where you are on the trail system. All right, second, your shelter system. Your home away from home needs to be suitable for the conditions that you're going to face, so research is important here. Are you going to be in dry, arid regions or alpine regions that are prone to quick weather changes? You're going to be wanting to use a high-quality tent or a hammock sleeping system. Both are great, whatever you're most comfortable with, but make sure that they both have a waterproof rain fly. Also, consider bringing a footprint that goes underneath the tent to make sure you're not getting pokies coming up from the bottom, popping holes in your sleeping pad. For weekend trips, I like to use a tent. I recommend a lightweight 1 to 2 person tent only. Unless you're specifically looking to share accommodations with a lot of people. 2 people is plenty for 1 person. It gives you extra storage and things like that. Remember, your shelter is not just for sleeping, it's your refuge in case of unexpected weather changes, as well as a gear storage area. So now with your tent set up, your sleeping system is crucial. I love to be comfy as possible out there, so I prioritize a lot of comfortable sleeping items. A sleeping bag rated for temperatures at least 10 degrees below what you're going to expect to encounter. Go quality here, because a lot of the ratings from the big box stores like Walmart's are rating their sleeping bags much higher than they actually will put out. Next up is a sleeping pad. So sleeping pads are rated with R values. The higher the R value, the more insulated from the ground you're going to be. So generally we lose most of our heat through the ground, so it's important to have a properly insulated all season type of sleeping pad to make sure that we're not losing heat directly underneath us. And finally, a pillow. So they make tons of inflatable pillows out on the market. It's really whatever you're comfortable with. Don't pack your bed pillow. Get an inflatable one or two if you're feeling like extra comfort. A quick note on sleeping bags. Sleeping bags do not generate heat. I think that's pretty self-evident. They trap it. So make sure that you're dressing appropriately for the nighttime temperatures that you'll face. Your sleeping bag is going to help you trap the heat, as well as your base layers are going to do that as well. All right, let's move on to food and water. So if you're doing it right, you're going to be burning more calories than you do in your day-to-day life. So plan accordingly. As far as water goes, make sure you pack a water bottle or three. Generally 3 liters a day on a long full day hike is what is recommended. You'll use a lot of that water at camp, cooking food and boiling water and things like that. So make sure you have plenty of water. If you're somewhere like I am in the desert, you need to pack most of your water, and water sources are very slim to none. A good water filtration system becomes essential then. Something like a Sawyer squeeze or some dead simple way to filter water from reservoirs or creeks is a great backup, as well as essential for most hikers. Food is going to be your preference, but food for all meals plus emergency rations is a good idea. Plenty of snacks for the trail are essential, and also if you're wanting to go down the freeze-dried food route, you can find plenty of good options at your local stores, or even freeze-dry your own food and bring food that is simple and easy to eat, like pre-canned fish, rice, beans, tortillas, things like that are really excellent on trips. To cook food, you'll most likely need a lightweight stove, like a Jetboil, something like that, as well as isopro fuel. You're going to be heating up water for putting into your freeze-dried meals, as well as coffee and beverages and things like that. And finally, some eating utensils and a few basic cleaning supplies. I like to bring a little bit of soap, as well as a nice long spoon and a rag to wipe up everything with. And of course, we have to talk about food storage. If you're in areas where there are predator type animals, storing your food in a bare canister or a bag that you can swing over a tree far away from camp to ensure that you're not going to be letting animals get rewarded for being around you and your campsite and eating your food as a bonus. Now, I usually plan for about 2,500 to 3,000 calories per day of hiking. I'm not a dietitian, so do what is appropriate for you. But you're going to want to focus on foods that provide sustained energy rather than sugary and highly salty foods. So clothing is extremely important. Generally, you just want to understand that layering is the best way to go. You're going to want to wear clothes that are starting from a base layer and expanding as you need more and more insulation, as well as waterproofing and windproofing. So with clothing, it's generally the best idea to stay away from cotton. So cotton, if it gets wet, is going to become cold. It's not going to provide any insulation. And also it's going to take forever to dry out. So stick to things like polyester, spandex, wool blends, things like that. These are going to keep you dry, they're going to wick moisture away, and they will dry out when wet extremely fast. The general approach is to have moisture wicking base layers that are quite thin, moving up into an insulating mid layer, and then on the outside, waterproofing or windproofing outer shells. And any combination of layers that you find appropriate for yourself is generally the best idea. You're gonna wanna pack extra socks in case one of your pairs gets wet. Trust me on this one, you're gonna wanna go with wool. 2 pairs of wool socks is all you'll ever need, and they last forever. Go ahead and throw a hat for sun protection in your bag if you're not gonna wear it. Keep that heat off of your head. Make sure that you are protecting your head from sun damage and sunburn. A warm hat and some gloves, even in the summer months, if you're at higher elevation, is great. These can be thin, but something to just throw on while you're in your sleeping bag to keep your face warm, or your fingers warm when you're out there at higher elevations. And finally, some lightweight camp shoes. Now, you're gonna wanna pull those boots off as soon as you get to camp, I guarantee it. So having a comfortable pair of shoes, sandals, something like that, like Tevas, are a great option to feel refreshed, as well as not have to kick around in the hiking boots you've been wearing all day long. I can't stress this enough, but remember, cotton kills in the outdoors because once it's wet, it stays wet and it draws heat away from your body. So as I already said, stick with wool or synthetic materials or performance blends. Emergency and safety supplies. These are the items that you hope that you'll never need, but you should never hike without. First and foremost, pack a first aid kit that is customized for your trip length as well as your personal needs. Things in there like a little bit of duct tape for safety and patchwork, as well as moleskins to treat blisters. Additionally, pack a headlamp with extra batteries or a charging pack if it's a chargeable type of headlamp. Pack in there a multi-tool or a knife, something like a Swiss Army knife is great. And then also fire starters, so things like waterproof matches as well as Bic lighters are huge. Emergency shelter. Your tent is your primary shelter, but things like an emergency blanket can help, as well as a whistle and a signal mirror for recovery type situations. And if you're in bear country, pop some bear spray in there. A real quick note on first aid kits. Now, this is going to be your discretion, but prepackaged kits are a great way to start, but continue to customize it based off your needs, like I already said. Make sure you understand how to use the things that are in there and educate yourself on wilderness survival tactics. Okay, we're getting down there on the list. Now we're talking personal items and extras. These items enhance comfort as well as practicality without adding too much weight. You're going to want to pack your toiletries, of course. That's things like biodegradable soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, whatever you're going to need, contact solution, glasses. A great way to store all these things is in a ditty bag. You can get these pretty much anywhere, and we'll link a few of our favorites below, but these just store different types of items. You've seen this one's for my food, this one's for my toiletries. We've got ditty bags for days around here. But important to pack all your toiletries within separated bags to make sure they're easy to find in your pack. Definitely pack sunscreen as well as insect repellent. These are non-negotiable. For electronics, make sure you bring your phone, obviously, and bring a charging cord as well as a power bank. And if you're fancy and you don't mind the bit of extra weight, a solar charging system can work wonders on long hikes. They charge pretty slow, but they're also very, very helpful out there. A few other items, trekking poles. If you're not a trekking pole user, I highly recommend going down that path. They help to save on your back, your feet, and they're really useful in general to have around camp. Make sure you pack a backpack cover or a pack liner to keep all of your gear dry in the event that you're just hiking through rain all day. And it's always a great idea to have tape, such as like duct tape wrapped around itself for emergency repairs for sleeping pads, tents, and really just kind of anything you can think to use duct tape with. We've reached the end of the list and we are on final checklist. So before you head out the door, do another final checklist. We've included ours below. We find it very, very helpful.